You know, it's quite interesting when you listen to people who have good ideas but don't actually exactly know what's happening on the ground. When people talk about common fund, they have no idea what they are talking about. To be honest with you, one of the things also that if I should have my own way, I will scrap is MP's common fund. MP's common fund is something that is giving MPs unnecessary problem, but it's nothing to write home about. Because people think that the MP's common fund is not. Look, MP is not a development agent. MP is supposed to provide what you would describe as social intervention. It's peanuts in the first place. Second place in this government, as I'm sitting here right now, about 2 or 3 quarters of my last year common fund actually never came.
And that would amount to about how much? And
that would amount to maybe about 150,000. So can you imagine that the whole of it? We are talking about an average of about 40 to 50,000 a quarter. So if I put it at 50, okay, this lady is talking about building a factory. Is also talking about doing a gutter. So sometimes we all have good intentions. We want to do things. Look, I came from outside excited about things that I believe that can be done. But you see, questions are not addressed to the right people. This question should be addressed to the MCE, the Municipal Chief Executive, who writes a development plan for government to give him or her, whoever is there, money to the assembly to do the things that he's talking about. This is not actually MP's job. But over the years, because of our own pronouncement, big things that we have gone around and talked about development, about this and about that, this has become part of. Certain things were put in place at a time. They were put in place for a reason. And then over the years, there has to be a review of those things to see whether they are working or not working. I think the whole idea of common fund is misconstrued. People don't know exactly what comes into that common fund. And the common fund money is not as big as people think it is. MPs are not development agents. But we came to meet it. People have been giving promises because MP, you can't build roads. You have to rely on those who are responsible for development, the development agent, the assemblies or the MCE and the larger government to do those things. If we're going to make our structures work properly, people should know clearly where development comes from. People should know that MPs are legislatures. So I go to MP when I have some concern about certain things and I want it to become law or there are issues. That MP should carry that to Parliament and make sure that they advocate for it to happen. If the MP wants to do something to help, that's fine. People come to me for all sorts of challenges that they are having. That was what the Common Fund was meant to do, a social intervention. So we need to look at this properly, and that is why I'm advocating that common fund should be cut off and then a different system put in place for MPs to run their offices, but not through common fund, because common fund is given to the assembly and it's assumed to be development related. MPs need money to run their offices because there are people who work in the office that need to be paid. There are your own small project that you want to do that needs to be paid for, and then running of your office, people come to see you with all sorts of issues that you need to be able to support. So that money should be given to do sectors rather than a common fund which is believed to do development, because it is inadequate, it is irregular, it doesn't come at all sometimes. But MPs are under pressure because of the whole idea or notion of common fund. And that's why I'm advocating to allocate the right amount of money to MPs to run their offices, not as a common fund to do development.